Diaspora, I think we've just been assuming it, but the potential is huge. Last month, which is September, the diaspora remittance to Kenya was, you did $419 million times 130, that was 52 billion. That is what was sent in September. Year to date, I think we've done $3.7 billion, which would be 490 billion. So this is the single largest inflow to the country, practically. But if you check at Africa, I just wanted to share data with you. Africa receives $100 to $120 billion of diaspora remittances, Africans working in other parts of the world. Egypt, 29 billion. But Kenya is number 4. We got 4.9 billion last year. This year, I think we should be at 5 billion. But more interestingly, if we compare with a country with like India, the largest recipient of diaspora inflows, last year they got 129 billion. India only. Africa as a whole got 100 billion. So you can see the other big one is Mexico and Philippines. And the largest source is the US. But what can this money do if it was channeled to a proper purpose, collectively? Ethiopia, and there are many case studies. Ethiopia, the dam that was opened in September, part of it was funded from diaspora inflows, which means this, the monies you send can be organized into proper investment. This money that comes, there's a study from CBK they did in 2021. Where does it go? This 4.9 or the 500 billion or thereabouts, and most of it goes to consumption, part of it goes to education, part of it goes to healthcare, and some of it goes to real estate. Some of you are building, some of you are paying rent for your dependents, some of you are building houses that you may get alternative photos, what is admirable and not what you're building. And we give back to the community. So my thinking was, like, if last month, the 50 billion that came in, if we had organized 10% of it to a 5 billion investment, that's huge. That's something that would be transformative. So the potential of diaspora should be felt in the country and outside the country, create jobs, and change our future generations. Now, from 24th, that's when salaries are paid in this Nairobi, or most of the companies pay 24th to 5th. In Nairobi, the statistics that I have, 88.8% of us pay rent. Everyone has a rental agreement. Rent must be paid by the 5th of every month. So between 27th to 5th next week, around not less than 20 billion will be paid out as rent in Nairobi. We have 1.6 million households in Nairobi, serving 4.8 million people. 88.8% of 1.6 million would be 1.4 million homes. If you take the average rent from 2,000 shillings, I saw from Bomayangu and government, they're saying in Mukuru, the average rent is 2,000. In Two Rivers, the highest rent is $500,000. If you do the average at 10,000, even 1.4 million homes paying 10,000, that would be 14 billion a month. If it's 20, that's 300 billion. Now that you're seated here, how much of that comes to your pocket? All of it. Okay. So we need, there's really a tangible opportunity. There is returns that can be made. There is a market that is there. And we can figure out and invest. Even Kiambu, which is difficult to distinguish between Nairobi and Kiambu. Yeah, and I had KRAs in the building. There is 80 billion in 2024 that will go to people's pocket as rental income. This gives you context. Why? The first census in Kenya was done in 1948. We were nearly 6 million people. In 2019, there was census done, we were 47.8 million people. Our growth rate is 4% per year, annually. So if I take a view of the next 30 years, in 2060, we'll be 80 million people. Now that 80 is an opportunity. All of us came from somewhere today. So you came from a house, whether you're paying rent or your own home. So it means there are future opportunities for people to house others, because you spend 40% of your time at home and 90% of your time in a real estate setup. So there's an opportunity going forward as our population grows, as the demographic supports us, for real estate to continue having a great demand, and diaspora can take advantage of it. We just did a Centum breakdown. We are pretty young, my colleagues are here. The earliest any of us can retire is 2060. I'll be 90 in 2077. Maybe I'll be the first one to retire in 2051. But we are trying to see, do we have jobs up to 2060? And from the data we have, there's enough jobs for all of us and enough opportunity. We have to build house all of you, create opportunities for the future. So if the population is increasing, where else can you invest? Housing, that we've discussed. But if there is a community somewhere, that community has families, they will need schools. They have health, they'll need to take care of themselves. So schools and health are another opportunity. They need to shop, they need to enjoy life. So retail is another element. Food and logistics, they need to be taken care of. So diaspora can tap into these future opportunities in an organized way and create a decent and sustainable return for everyone. Just not too far from here, which is the UN, it's expanding, you may know. It's been announced everywhere, so we just extracted something from their website. They're expanding their campus. Up to 9,000 people will be here, starting from 2026 to 2030. They will come, but they must stay somewhere. So the first point when you're sent to a new place is where you live. I think they'll be paying rent in dollars. I challenge you to make sure you can. One of them is paying rent to you, and Two Rivers seems to be the closest place to them. I think this was just a slide to denote. When all that census was done, these places were all empty. In 2010, this was a napier grass place. Now it's a city. In 2014, here was napier grass. Now we are seated there. So it's because of the demographic, the business, that whatever looks far-reached, you should now think about investing. Okay, I think you may have heard these stories with your parents, that many years when you used to drive here, there was nothing, and now there is something. Land was really affordable, now it's expensive, and they didn't do anything about it. I don't want to be that, I don't want in 2050 to be saying UN was expanding and all these things were happening, and I just have memories of how I used my money. I want to pass on a legacy to the rest. So I think they were youth in 1970. They are now grandparents. We are above youth, but we are young. We'll be grandparents in many years down the line. There are opportunities that you can take advantage of. Now that there's a lot of liquidity from diaspora that is coming back to Kenya, there are opportunities, and I've demonstrated that. This is critical. So will all of us get old? Will all of us get out of work someday? But one thing is, money will always be required. You'll need your health. You need to have liquidity. And most people who retire, that's the data we are showing, is they need others to, they depend on their relatives, basically. That's like 40%. Others will need to work post-retirement, and very few are financially independent. Those of us who start businesses post-retirement, just 31% are profitable. Most of them actually fail. So your retirement money is wiped out. So now that you have the energy, you're earning, I think it's good to create a passive income line real estate, and many others could help you so that in your retirement, you don't need to wait for your kids to remember to send you money, nor blame government. You can just enjoy life the same way you enjoyed it in the other part of the world. This is a report, an investment guide we've created for you. Please download it. Whether you're investing with us or others, or you're thinking about it, there are deep insights there that you can get, that you can use to make an informed decision. This is Two Rivers, and when it's fully built, it will look like. But because you're here, if you feel a bit overwhelmed, stressed, we have that Ferris wheel on the northern end. It's 52 meters high. Now, when you get into it, there is nothing spectacular. But when you get to 40 meters high, you're able to reorganize your life, because if you think about it, if it doesn't turn, how do you come down? So you're able to prioritize on the most critical thing. So if you are stressed in life, any day, I welcome you to Two Rivers. Just go take a ride. This is Two Rivers. I encourage you to take a walk around and see what has been done. This can be found in any part of the world for diaspora people. Any part of the world, whether it's New York, whether it's London, whether it's Dubai, the lifestyle is the same and it's affordable. Karidi, we have many projects across. We can help you curate your investment plan. We can work together to create passive income. Within our portfolio, people make anywhere from 20 to 3 million shillings in passive rental income, affordably. So I want you to scan the last page, see our team here. We'll share with you the information that I'm sharing, and the team is much more knowledgeable than I am. Whether you're developing, whether you're thinking about it, these insights will be useful for you so that you make the correct decision. And Chamwada, to you, please organize this diaspora investment. There's so much money that can make significant difference in our country, in our lives, and create jobs for all of us, if there is an investment opportunity that we can share with them. Thank you. Welcome to Two Rivers. Find time to walk around. And I hope we meet in 2040, 2045, touring the world, and hoping that these presentations did spark something in you and you invested, whether with us or elsewhere, and we make a difference to this world. Enjoy the rest of it.
One quick question for Ken, just one burning question for Ken. Go ahead, name.
I'm Professor Philip Masila Mutisia, lead founder of Diaspora University Town in Taita Taveta, around Voi. I'm a returnee after 37 years in North Carolina education system, building a university, a town, hospital, and medicine production. And we were talking about how do we inform the people to take advantage of our opportunity. We have over 37 houses, townhouses to build, but we found that there was a disconnect and also a kind of trust gap between us coming here to invest in here and finding people like you, the organization. That I wanted to find out, how do we do that? Because we do have funding from the affordable home care, house mortgages, okay? That we found when working with the banks, they did not understand how to sell that. That's not their money, it's our money. And there's an opportunity to institutions whereby, like DUT, we call it University Town, is going to be a town. I wanted to talk for you to explain, to talk about how do you connect with that funding, KMRC, and then how can we take advantage of that and work with you?
Thank you. You know, a question from Professor, I have to pay attention. I hope I answered the correct way before you confirm your worst fears. So the first thing is, there's a slide there that I had on KMLC. Money follows a story. You have to have a good story for money to follow. So you have to articulate that story clearly. Two, over time, and given that we are all Kenyans, there's been a mismatch between what you say and maybe what you deliver. There's always a gap, and yeah, it's good to exaggerate your abilities kidogo. So the problem to solve and to link the funding and the opportunity, the first point is a forum like this, the one that RX is putting together. You have to preach, speak about it, and try and tell the story. Two, you have to have a demonstrable track record, because often it's on paper, and there is a significant variance between what is on paper and building. And that's where the gap extends. There's a lot of money with KMLC, and I'll share the data as I get it. For a long time, the mortgages in Kenya were 27,000 mortgages. Since 1996, 98, they were either government or bank employees. Last year, from the Central Bank Supervision Report, the mortgages increased to 33,000 mortgages in the country, simply because of the KMLC loan product. What is it? You can get financing for a house that is up to 10.5 million, for a tenor that is 25 years. The interest rate is 9.5%. The qualification, you need to be a Kenyan, and it needs to be your first home. In practical terms, if you walk to KCB, they have that KMLC product, ABSA, Stanbic, all the banks. You can walk in there, so long as you have a pay slip and you can demonstrate you can pay, they will fund you 100% for any house that is priced below 10.5 million. If you take your calculator and do the computation, if you take a mortgage that is 10.5 million at 9.5% for 25 years, your repayment would be 200 and something. So all of us here can actually qualify. You should not see a house and just walk away. You can afford it. It costs you nothing. You just walk in there, you take the letter of offer, you confidently walk into the bank, speak to no one less than the branch manager, and get your qualification. The decision to buy or not, you can carry on. So I think we need to have more forums to engage and get the word out there that it can be done. I hope I answered the question to the satisfaction of our professor. That would be a.
Makofi kwa Ken Mbaye. Thank you so much.